My name is Adam Martin from Martin's Farm in Greenfield, Mass. This has been a family composting business for almost 30 years. Compost is used by local homeowners and gardeners, commercial gardeners and landscapers, organic farmers, and they use it for their crops, for their vegetables. We love what we do, and every year we are trying to make a better quality compost so that people will have the most beautiful flowers, the best tasting vegetables, the greenest lawns. That's our goal. First step in the process is it goes into a dumpster, the truck picks it up and then brings it here. The second step is we scatter the loads out and we're looking for plastic or glass or foreign contaminants that do not compost. The third step is we mix everything together and then we put it through a big horizontal grinder, and that shreds everything to uniform size. Composting, you have to have right ratios for the microorganisms to be able to work effectively and properly. Now, some people think that compost just happens. Well, it doesn't just happen. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, and a lot of money. A grinder like that, brand new, is around $600,000. So we live by God's grace and do the best we can. After the compostables have gone through the beast, what we then do is we lay them out into windrows. During that 12 weeks, we are checking moisture, temperature, and oxygen. The piles are turned 7 to 9 times through that process to be able to get air into the pile. We're looking for between 130 and 160 degrees, which is the optimal temperature, because it will kill weed seeds. You don't want it too wet, you don't want it too dry. If it goes too wet, it will start decomposing without oxygen, in which you lose a lot of nitrogen and you start to have a lot of odors. Right, so the last step at about 13 weeks is we need to screen the compost. We have a screener here that we load up. It screens the material down to 3/8 of an inch. That will sit in a pile for about a month to finish curing, so it is not hot, and then it's ready for sale.
Why is composting so great?
Because it becomes fertilizer and that allows plants to grow.
Franklin County, Massachusetts is a leader in commercial composting. 15 public schools in the county send all food and paper waste from cafeterias and kitchens to local composting facilities. Events like the Franklin County Fair and Green River Festival compost large volumes of biodegradable waste using bins and signs borrowed by the Franklin County Solid Waste District. The town transfer stations in Northfield, Whately, New Salem, and Orange are saving money on trash disposal by collecting compostable waste separately and sending it off-site. Commercial composting, also known as organics recycling, goes way beyond the backyard compost bin. Because professionally managed compost decomposes at higher temperatures than the home bin, commercial compost programs can accept all food waste, including meat, bones, and dairy, as well as non-recyclable paper like napkins, paper towels, plates, and waxed cardboard. Much of the composting success in Franklin County is due to Martin's Farm in Greenfield, where most of the compost goes, as well as Triple T Trucking. Bear Path Farm in Whately and Clearview Composting in Orange are advancing composting in the county by accepting food waste from town transfer stations as well as schools. At the Franklin County Fair in Greenfield, 23 waste sorting stations encourage fairgoers and food vendors to sort waste into recycling, composting, and trash. Volunteers, including local high school students, collect materials from 120 bins around the fairgrounds. The fair composts almost 2 tons or 10 cubic yards of food and paper waste and recycles about 20 cubic yards of plastic, metal, and glass. Franklin County markets, schools, and restaurants are embracing this waste handling method as well. That is a good thing because in July of 2014, the state will enact a ban on commercial food waste. Commercial institutions like restaurants, colleges, and grocery stores that generate more than 1 ton of food waste per week are required to send it to compost facilities or anaerobic digesters. 5 Franklin County high schools are composting all of the food and paper waste from their cafeterias and kitchens: Pioneer, Turners Falls, Mohawk, Four Rivers, and Frontier. Up to 90% of the waste of an average school lunch can be composted in an off-site program. In 2012, the Gil Montague Regional School District won the Mass Recycle School Recycler of the Year award for their programs, which divert 8 cubic yards of compostable food and paper waste each week from area landfills. That's 10 30-yard dumpsters each year. There is a connection between waste and climate change. When food and paper waste decay in a landfill, methane, a greenhouse gas 23 times more potent than carbon dioxide, is released. Commercial composting produces very little methane because it is exposed to the air. Landfill capacity in the Pioneer Valley will be almost non-existent in the near future. Instead of sending our waste away by truck or railroad, let's reduce, reuse, and recycle and compost as much of it as we can.
This is the compost at its last stage, ready to be sold and used on gardens and lawns. The choice is up to us if we're going to make that effort to do composting or not. It does make a difference. It begins with you. Everybody can make a difference with making this world a little greener. You do make a difference. People that are composting and do want to start composting, thank you from all of us at Martin's Farm.
I think composting is great for the earth because it helps dirt form, and dirt can't form very well, so I think it's really good.